The judge read the verdict, all assets to the wife. My ex smirked, kissing her lawyer. I stood. Your Honor, may I present Exhibit Z? I played the audio. The courtroom gasped. My ex's lawyer shouted, Objection, where did you get that? The judge leaned forward, overruled. Continue. What happened next is shocking. The gavel hit the block with a sharp crack. Judgment in favor of the petitioner, the judge announced, his voice carrying across the packed courtroom. All marital assets are to be awarded to the wife. The words echoed in my ears like a death sentence. My ex-wife, Vanessa, leaned over and planted a slow, smug kiss on her attorney's lips, as if to drive the knife a little deeper. Gasps rippled through the gallery, the kind of gasps that made you feel like everyone was watching your humiliation in real time. I stood there, numb, my hands gripping the table until my knuckles turned white. For months I'd endured lies, character assassination, and false testimony. She painted me as a violent drunk, an absent husband, a man who couldn't provide. Every accusation was a fabrication, carefully rehearsed by her and her attorney, Robert Lang. But what Vanessa didn't know was that I had been quietly preparing for this moment for weeks. No. Months. Every late night, every calm expression I wore during her outbursts was all part of my plan. I wasn't just defending myself. I was setting a trap. I took a slow breath, then stepped forward. Your Honor, I said evenly. Before we conclude, may I present Exhibit Z? The room shifted. Murmurs spread through the benches. Exhibit Z wasn't part of the known evidence list. Even Robert's cocky expression faltered for a moment. Proceed, the judge said, adjusting his glasses. I pulled my phone from my suit pocket, connected it to the courtroom's audio system, and pressed play. The first voice was unmistakably Vanessa's. Her tone was dripping with malice. Of course I'm taking everything, that's the point. He'll be living in his car before the summer's over. Then came Robert's voice, low and smug. Don't worry, baby. I'll make sure the judge swallows the story whole. We've done this before. The courtroom erupted. Chapter 2. The courtroom turns. The judge's hand froze mid-motion as the audio kept playing. Vanessa's voice again, sharper this time. And when it's over, you and I can finally take that trip to Monaco with his money. Honestly, Robert, I don't even care if he finds out about us at this point. What's he gonna do? He's broke. And stupid. The last word rang out in the dead silence of the courtroom. Robert's face drained of color. He leapt to his feet. Your Honor, this is the judge, raised a single hand, cutting him off. His eyes were cold now. His jaw set. Sit down, Mr. Lang. For the first time in months I had the upper hand. My voice was calm, measured. That recording was obtained legally, Your Honor. Vanessa left her phone connected to our shared cloud account. Every message, every call, automatically backed up, including this conversation. A ripple of shock passed through the room. People leaning forward, phones subtly raised to record. The judge leaned back, stapling his fingers. Mr. Lang, Mrs. Carter, is that your voice on this recording? Neither of them answered. Robert stared at the table. Vanessa shifted in her seat, her smirk long gone. The judge's voice hardened. This court takes fraud extremely seriously. We will recess for 20 minutes while I review this in chambers. Both parties are to remain here. Bailiff, watch them. As the judge exited, Vanessa turned to me, her eyes blazing with panic. You think this will save you? She hissed. I leaned in slightly, so only she could hear. Oh no, I said quietly. This isn't about saving me. It's about ending you. Chapter 3. The verdict reversed. The courtroom doors swung open, and the judge strode back in with a file tucked under his arm. His expression was unreadable, but there was a weight in the air, the kind that makes even the guilty hold their breath. He sat, adjusted his glasses, and cleared his throat. This court has reviewed the recording, along with several related files found in the same cloud account. It is clear that Mrs. Carter and her counsel were involved in a deliberate scheme to defraud the court, misrepresent marital assets, and conceal extramarital relationships for financial gain. A stunned silence filled the room. Robert's face was pale and sweaty. Vanessa's knuckles were white as she gripped the table. The judge continued. As such, My previous ruling is vacated. Effective immediately, Mrs. Carter forfeits all claims to the marital estate. All shared property, accounts, and business holdings are awarded solely to Mr. Carter. Gasps echoed from the gallery. Vanessa shot up from her seat. You can't do this. He's lying. This is all fabricated. The judge's gavel slammed. Sit down, or I'll hold you in contempt. She sat trembling. The judge wasn't done. Furthermore, based on the evidence, this court is referring both Mrs. Carter and her counsel to the State Bar and District Attorney's Office for investigation into fraud, perjury, and conspiracy to commit financial misconduct. Bailiff, escort Mr. Lang from this courtroom immediately. Robert's chair scraped loudly against the floor as two bailiffs closed in. His voice cracked as he tried to protest, but the handcuffs clicked shut. I didn't say a word. I simply turned to Vanessa, met her eyes, and let a slow, satisfied smile spread across my face. For the first time since this whole nightmare began, she looked truly afraid. Chapter 4. The Public Fallout. By the time I stepped out of the courthouse, the media vans were already lined up along the curb. Reporters had caught wind of the mid-trial reversal, and the buzz was electric. Cameras flashed as microphones were shoved in my face. Mr. Carter, is it true your ex-wife committed fraud? Were you aware of her affair with her own attorney? What's next for you now that you've won everything back? I didn't give them much. Just a measured statement. The truth has a way of coming out, always. Behind me, the courthouse doors burst open. Vanessa stormed out trying to shield her face with her purse, but it was too late. A reporter shouted, Vanessa, any comment on the leaked audio? The phrase spread like wildfire, and suddenly, every camera was on her. That night, the audio clip, the one of her mocking me, bragging about taking every last penny, went viral. Someone had paired it with courtroom footage of her lawyer being led away in handcuffs. The internet tore her apart. Former friends unfollowed her. Her company, already struggling, issued a press release severing all ties, and then came the real blow. The State Bar issued an emergency suspension of Robert's license. Without his connections, Vanessa's allies scattered fast. 3 days later, I got a text from an unknown number. Please, can we talk? I'll meet you anywhere. I have nowhere to go. I deleted it without replying. She had spent months trying to strip me of everything I had. My home, my business, my dignity. Now she was the one with nothing. And I wasn't done yet. Chapter 5. The Final Strike. 2 weeks after the trial, I received an invitation in the mail. It was from the bank. Vanessa had been late on her mortgage, and her luxury condo was scheduled for auction. The irony was delicious. The very property she'd boasted about taking from me during our marriage was now slipping through her fingers. That's when I made my move. On auction day, I sat quietly in the back of the room, baseball cap low, sunglasses on. Vanessa walked in moments later. Her once flawless hair tied back messily, makeup smudged. She scanned the crowd, probably hoping a miracle buyer would swoop in and save her. When her condo came up for bidding, I didn't hesitate. My opening bid silenced the room. Another bidder tried to jump in, but I outbid them with a calm, steady voice every single time. When the gavel finally came down, the auctioneer announced, "Sold to Mr. Carter." Vanessa whipped her head toward me. Her lips trembled. "You can't. You wouldn't." I smiled. "I would. And I just did." 2 days later, she returned to her condo to find movers carrying her things out under my orders. The building security escorted her off the property. I didn't even keep the place. I donated it to a housing charity, making sure the story made the local news. The headlines read, "Man donates ex-wife's former luxury condo to families in need." Her humiliation was complete. The woman who once claimed she'd leave me with nothing, now had exactly that. And I had my freedom, my dignity, and the satisfaction of knowing I'd played the long game. And won. Epilogue. Years later. 3 years passed. Life had become peaceful. I'd invested wisely, rebuilt my business, and was now running a thriving property development firm. I wasn't just financially secure, I was genuinely happy. My evenings were spent with people I trusted, not walking on eggshells around someone plotting behind my back. Then, one rainy Thursday, I stopped at a small diner on the edge of town. As I walked in, a hunched figure at the counter caught my eye. Vanessa. Her once polished nails were chipped, her hair dull, and her clothes hung loose on her frame. She was counting coins to pay for a black coffee. She turned and saw me. Her eyes widened, not in anger, but in shame. "Carter, can we talk?" she asked quietly. I didn't sit. "Talk? You made it clear years ago what you thought of me. You have your choices. I have mine." She swallowed hard. I made mistakes. I lost everything. Please. Just a loan to get back on my feet." I leaned in slightly, my voice low so only she could hear. "Vanessa, you once told me I had no choice but to tolerate you. You were wrong then, and you're wrong now. I have every choice. And today, I choose to walk away." Her eyes glistened as I dropped a $20 bill on the counter. Not for her, but for the waitress, and left. Outside, the rain felt cool, almost cleansing. It struck me that revenge isn't just about destroying the other person. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply living a life so far above the ruins they made for themselves they can't even see you anymore. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you have think about this story in the comments below. Like the story. If you think this story is justified, share it with someone who needs this energy, and subscribe to Lauren's story for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here, every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.